Okay, we got a tip for biceps, guys, okay? When see so many guys working biceps, they want big biceps, they can't understand why they can't get big peaked biceps. Okay, now without getting it, we're going to keep this real simple. Without getting a radial ulnar joint, a brachialis, and a brachioradialis, and a biceps, this and that, and the long head and the short head, and the, you know, and get into arguments with all the physiologists out of there. We're going to make this real simple, okay? Number one, to work your biceps, you've got to keep the leverage on the biceps. So when you're doing this, that's more shoulder workout than biceps, okay? Real simply, the bicep supinates the forearm, and some people say that is its major function and that is its strongest function, but there are also two muscles in the forearm that initiate the contraction, and what we know is when you get to about 90 degrees, these muscles really can't work anymore and the bicep takes over, okay? And this is at 90 degrees. Usually when the biceps take over, everybody's up here and literally they got the elbows out in front and you're not really working the bicep that hard. So the first thing we're going to do is called a drag curl, and we're going to curl up and we're going to squeeze in. Now the leverage is on the bicep, right? We're not out here, we're here. And we're not shrugging our shoulders to get the weight up. As we squeeze the biceps, we're dropping our shoulders and we're using the bicep. Now we're also going to pull a technique from the power lifters. Our buddies that always fire it off their chest too fast and then end up with a sticking point about midway in their bench press, they use a technique called Commensurate Acceleration, where they go real slow, and then where they want to develop the strength curve, they try to speed it up. So we're going to start the bicep movement real slow, and then when the forearm muscles really lose their leverage and the biceps kick in, we're going to speed it up then to put all the work on the biceps. Now, so your next time you're doing biceps, try taking the weight down to about 1/2 of what it was, doing your drag curls. When you get to about 90 degrees, speed it up, and then feel the contraction of the biceps. Start out nice and slow, and then when the biceps take over, speed it up, and you really get, it only take about 5 or 6 reps, and you'll really start to feel it in your biceps. Now, that's how you do your exercise. You keep the leverage on it. Now, you guys want the big peak on your biceps. See, there's a split in here, and I tend to work my outer head. Whoa, all the physiologists are going nuts right now. The long head of the bicep, but the bodybuilders call it the outer head. You put your finger right there, that's where the long head of the bicep attaches into the shoulder. So the muscle splits right about here. And so if you want to, you keep the leverage. If you want that peak, you keep the leverage on the long head by kind of just keeping your elbows out. If you want to work your belly of the bicep, you pull your elbows in. If you want to add further leverage on the outer head, you grab a set of dumbbells, which we should have had ready. You lean back since the outer head crosses your radial ulnar joint. I hope I got that right. Your elbow and your shoulder joint. If you stretch that tendon out, now you get a lot of leverage on there, and you can cock your elbows out, and you can really work the peak on your bicep. Okay, so that's a quickie on your biceps. You want big biceps, you got to keep the leverage on it. You don't do this. Notice when the biceps are just about taken over at 90 degrees, my elbows are up front, and there's really, if I let that fall back, my shoulders are doing all the work. So keep the leverage on them. Use compensatory acceleration to really work the bicep. All right, and then, yeah, back in my day, they used to be over 19, but get you a nice bicep.